What if the force you've been using to change your life is the very thing holding you in place? You've been taught to push harder, to hustle, to find that lightning strike of inspiration and ride it until it dies. But that is the path of struggle. It is the great deception. True creation is not an explosion. It's a quiet, steady unfolding. There is a silent law of achievement, a power so subtle yet so absolute that it has been overlooked by the masses. It is not found in the storm, but in the steady rhythm of the rain. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes you will not learn a new tactic. You will awaken a dormant power within your own consciousness. By the end of this message, you will understand how to stop fighting your reality and start commanding it, step by steady, deliberate step. Listen closely. There is a silent power that moves mountains, a force so subtle, yet so absolute, that it governs the very fabric of your reality. This isn't the lightning strike of inspiration you've been taught to chase. Oh no, inspiration is a fleeting guest. It comes and goes, leaving you waiting, wanting. The real operant power, the true source of creation, is a quiet, persistent discipline. It's the steady rhythm of a drumbeat in the heart of the universe. It is the unassuming force you command not with excitement, but with stillness, with repetition. This power doesn't care about your mood. It doesn't ask if you feel ready. It only responds to one thing: your steady, repeated action. You are building the foundation of a new state of being, not with grand gestures, but with the simple sacred act of showing up again and again until the inner world has no choice but to conform to your will. You are not waiting for success. You are architecting it. Now go deeper. Every time you tell yourself you will do something, and you do it, you are performing a sacred ritual. You are building trust with the deepest part of your consciousness. You are teaching your own soul that you are reliable. Think of it. Each time you push past the fog of laziness or the whisper of doubt, you cast a vote for a new version of yourself. You are reinforcing the assumption that you are the person who honors their own word. This isn't about willpower in the way you've understood it. This is about alignment. It's the harmonization of your inner declaration with your outer action. You are forging an unbreakable bond with your I am presence. The world reflects back to you not what you want, but who you believe yourself to be. And that belief, my friend, is built not on a single decision, but on 1,000 small acts of integrity you perform when no one is watching. You are becoming the master of your own inner kingdom. Understand this. Consistency is not a gift bestowed upon a chosen few. It is a spiritual muscle, a faculty of your consciousness that you can train, strengthen, and master. You've let it atrophy, convinced by the illusion that some are born with it and others are not. A lie. It is a skill, and like any skill, it begins with a single, conscious selection. Start small. So small it seems insignificant. The act itself is less important than the repetition of it. That small promise you keep to yourself is a seed. You are planting it in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. With each repetition, you water it. You are not trying to be consistent. You are activating the part of you that already is. You are choosing to occupy the state of the master, the creator, the disciplined one, even if only for a few moments, each day. This is the beginning of all transformation. And here's what changes everything. The universe doesn't respond to the size of your actions. It responds to the frequency of your assumption. Repetition is a frequency, a constant, deliberate repetition of any act, any thought, any feeling, impresses itself upon the formless substance of reality until it takes form. Your efforts may seem unnoticed at first. The world may give you no evidence of change. This is the great test. Can you hold to your assumption in the dark? Can you continue your inner work when the outer world shows you nothing? Because beneath the surface in the inner world where all things are created, your repetitions are causing tremors. They are carving new pathways in your consciousness. They are building a momentum so powerful that when the results finally break through into your reality, they will seem sudden, miraculous. But you will know the truth. You will know it was the inevitable harvest of your silent, steady work. So, this quiet discipline becomes your most potent form of prayer. It's a moving meditation, a constant declaration of who you have chosen to be. It's the humble, relentless force that turns the unseen into the seen. It dissolves resistance not by fighting it, but by persistently showing up, embodying the state of your wish fulfilled. You don't hope for a different future. You create it through the sacred rhythm of your daily actions. You are reprogramming your identity at the deepest level, embedding new behaviors into your very being until they become automatic, effortless. This isn't about forcing an outcome. It's about becoming the person for whom that outcome is natural, normal, and certain. But this understanding of power reveals a shadow that holds so many captive, the paralyzing forces of delay and the illusion of perfection. That's only the surface. Now, as you begin to wield this power of consistency, a shadow will rise to meet you. Do not be alarmed. It is an ancient phantom of the mind called procrastination. You have been taught to call it laziness, to see it as a flaw in your character. This is a profound misunderstanding. Procrastination is not your enemy. It is a misguided guardian. It is the brain's primitive defense mechanism, desperately trying to protect you from what it fears. The unknown, the uncertain, the overwhelming feeling of a dream so vast it terrifies you. It is the ego's attempt to keep you safe in the familiar prison of your current reality. It whispers, "Wait, it's not the right time. You're not ready." It is a lie born of a past assumption that you are small. Your work is not to fight this shadow, but to bless it. Thank it for trying to protect you and calmly walk past it into the glorious uncertainty of your own becoming. And this shadow has a clever disguise, a beautiful mask it wears to earn your respect. It calls itself perfectionism. Oh, what a cunning deception. It feels noble, doesn't it? To strive for the flawless, the ideal. But perfectionism is the most elegant form of self-sabotage. It is a gilded cage. It is the fear of failure dressed in the robes of high standards. It is an excuse to never begin, a justification for remaining stuck. You are told to wait until every detail is perfect, but that moment will never arrive. Creation is not a tidy, predictable process. It is a messy divine dance. You must be willing to be a fool. You must be willing to produce imperfect work as you step into a new state of being. Let go of the destination of perfect and fall in love with the feeling of progress. Progress, not perfection, is the key that unlocks the door. Your assumption of becoming is infinitely more powerful than the static, lifeless desire for being perfect. So how do you begin? You do not wait for the feeling of motivation. That is the old way, the powerless way. You must understand this law. Motivation is not the cause of action. It is the effect. Action is the spark that ignites the fire of feeling. You must be the one to strike the match. You choose an action so small, so laughably simple, that the resistance within you cannot find a foothold to argue against it. You break down your grand vision into a single tangible step. You don't write the book, you write one sentence. You don't build the empire, you make one phone call. In that moment, you are not trying to do something. You are embodying the state of the person who has already done it. You are infusing that tiny action with the feeling of completion, of certainty, and a miraculous thing happens. The universe rushes in to meet your movement, flooding you with the very motivation you thought you needed to begin. This is how you master your inner world. You become a conscious architect of your outer world. Your environment is not passive. It is constantly speaking to you, feeding your consciousness with suggestions and assumptions. You must take command. Design your space to support the person you are becoming. Remove the temptations that feed your old state and surround yourself with cues that trigger your desired one. This reduces the need for constant willpower, and you must use the power of declaration. Set deadlines, not as instruments of pressure, but as focusing lenses for your creative energy. A goal without a deadline is a mere wish. A deadline tells your deeper mind, "We are doing this. The selection has been made." And use this secret, the 2-minute rule. Commit to any new habit, any dreaded task, for just 2 minutes. The old mind can't fight that. But those 2 minutes are a gateway. They are the crack in the dam through which the entire force of your intention will eventually pour. Ultimately, you must realize you are not alone in this. True transformation is amplified when witnessed. Seek accountability not as a form of judgment, but as an act of shared consciousness. Declare your intention to one who holds the highest vision of you. In doing so, you are making your selection concrete. You are broadcasting your new assumption into the field, and their belief in you resonates and strengthens your own. They become a mirror, reflecting back to you the truth of who you are choosing to be. This entire process, seeing fear for what it is, sidestepping its traps and initiating deliberate action, is about more than just productivity. It is the sacred work of forging a new self. It is the foundation for building an unshakable mindset, a mind rooted in the absolute, non-negotiable power of self-discipline. And so, we arrive at the great secret: self-discipline. You hear this word, and you may feel a sense of harshness, of restriction. Forget everything you have been taught. Self-discipline is not a punishment. It is the sacred art of alchemy. It is the bridge you consciously build between your inner world of imagination and your outer world of experience. Every dream, every desire, every noble vision you hold within your consciousness is real, right now, in the unseen. But it requires a bridge to travel upon. Each disciplined act, each conscious choice to align your actions with your assumption, is another plank laid on that bridge. You are not fighting to get something you don't have. You are simply, deliberately, building the pathway for what you already are to manifest itself before your very eyes. This discipline is your devotion to your own unseen reality. Here is the paradox that will set you free. True freedom is found only within the bounds of discipline. The world has sold you a lie, that freedom is the ability to do whatever you want, whenever you feel like it. But that is not freedom. That is slavery. It is slavery to every fleeting emotion, every passing impulse, every external distraction. A consciousness without discipline is a ship without a rudder, tossed helplessly on the waves of circumstance. Self-discipline is the rudder. It is you, the I am within, taking firm hold of the wheel. It is the declaration that you, and you alone, are the authority in your reality. It is the power to choose a state, the state of wealth, of health, of love, and to remain there, steady and unshaken, no matter what the winds of the world may do. This is not restriction. This is the ultimate liberation. This power is forged when your commitment to your word becomes more sacred than your mood. Let inspiration be a welcome visitor, but do not build your house upon its shifting sands. Build your house on the bedrock of your commitment. When you make a decision, when you declare an intention, you are giving a command to your deeper mind. You are making a vow to your own soul, to honor that vow when you are tired, when you are discouraged, when you feel no inspiration at all. That is the moment of true power. That is when you prove to yourself and to the universe that your conscious selection is law. You stop asking your feelings for permission to act. You act, and you command your feelings to follow. Your commitment is the unwavering signal that reshapes your inner world. And the inner world, once reshaped, has no choice but to project itself outward. And in this practice, you will discover a quality of joy you have never known. The world chases pleasure, the fleeting high of indulgence and distraction. But that is the joy of the slave. The joy of the master is entirely different. It is a deep, resonant, unshakable joy that comes from the practice of self-mastery. It is the profound satisfaction of knowing that you are the cause, the creator, the captain of your soul. It is the quiet bliss that arises from watching your own inner vision take form through your steady, disciplined hand. This is the joy of personal growth, of conscious evolution. Each act of discipline is a deposit into this account of profound well-being. You are choosing the lasting fulfillment of becoming your ideal over the temporary comfort of remaining as you were. This joy is the echo of your own divine power, recognizing itself. This then is the unshakable mindset. It is not a state of harsh rigidity, but one of serene and focused power. It is a fortress of peace built within your own consciousness, a calm center from which you can command your reality. This discipline, this freedom, this commitment, and this profound joy are not separate qualities. They are all facets of a single integrated state of being. It is the state of the conscious creator. But how does this state become your nature? How does it move from a conscious practice to an automatic, effortless reality? It is not through a single monumental effort. It is through the quiet, magical, and relentless power of deliberate repetition. You see, this unshakable mindset is not born from a single moment of revelation. It is forged in the fire of deliberate repetition. This is the pathway to all mastery, in the seen and the unseen worlds. Anyone can perform an action once, but the master is the one who has imbued that action with sacredness through conscious repetition. This is not the mindless, mechanical repetition of a machine. Oh no. It is repetition infused with your full awareness, with the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Each time you repeat the act, you are not just going through the motions, you are deepening a groove in consciousness. You are sending a clearer and more powerful signal into the field of infinite potential. You are making your intention known, not with the shout of a single prayer, but with the undeniable resonance of 1,000 whispered ones, until the universe has no choice but to harmonize with your song. Here is the secret of all identity change. You are reprogramming the very foundation of your being. Your identity, your sense of I, is nothing more than a collection of well-practiced habits, thoughts, and assumptions. It is a story you have told yourself over and over until you forgot you were the author. To change the story, you must introduce a new dominant repetition. When you deliberately repeat an action that belongs to your desired self, you are bypassing the skeptical conscious mind and speaking directly to the subconscious, the feminine, creative aspect of your being in the only language it understands: embodied experience. You are showing it who you are now. Through this sacred repetition, the unfamiliar act becomes familiar, then easy, then automatic. It ceases to be something you do and becomes an integral part of who you are. The assumption has become your nature. From this, an unshakable confidence is born. But this is not the fragile, boisterous confidence of the ego that needs constant validation from the outside world. This is a deep, quiet, cellular knowing. It is the inevitable byproduct of your history of kept promises to yourself. You do not need to hope you can do it. You have a vast inner library of evidence that proves you can. Self-doubt is a ghost that thrives in the darkness of inaction and speculation. It cannot survive the bright light of repeated, tangible proof. Your consistent action starves it of its power. You develop a serene certainty because you are no longer operating from a theory of your potential, but from the concrete reality of your demonstrated power. You have met yourself in the arena of action, again and again, and you have learned that you are reliable. You know, because you have the receipts. You must internalize this law. Consistency will always triumph over intensity. The world is seduced by the grand gesture, the intense burst of effort. But this is the path of burnout and disappointment. It is the ego seeking a quick result. The soul, the true creative power within you, works differently. It operates on the principle of gentle, relentless pressure. Think of the steady, patient drop of water that carves its way through solid rock. A single, violent flood only washes over the surface. Sporadic, intense effort creates temporary ripples, but consistent daily repetition changes the very landscape of your life. Do not despise the small daily acts. They are the most powerful forces of creation at your disposal. You are not trying to conquer your reality in a day. You are loving it into the shape of your highest vision, one moment at a time. This power of repetition, then, is the very mechanism of creation itself. It is the practical method for taking an assumption from the realm of imagination and clothing it in the fabric of reality. It is how you select a state of consciousness and make it your permanent home. You are the operator, the director of this immense inner power. But for this engine to run with its full world-altering potential, you must supply it with the highest octane fuel possible. There is one final foundational shift in perception that you must make, an assumption so total that it changes everything that follows. It is the decision to abandon all excuses, to cease all blame, and to claim your sovereign power by taking 100% responsibility for your life and everything in it. Now, you must lean in and accept the most liberating and terrifying truth of all. the discipline, the repetition, the mindset. All of this rests upon one non-negotiable foundation: the assumption of 100% responsibility. To blame another person, to curse a circumstance, to point to your past, this is to commit spiritual suicide. It is the act of declaring that something outside of you is more powerful than the God within you. It is to give your creative birthright away to a shadow. The moment blame leaves your lips, you have rendered yourself a victim, in effect, a helpless cork tossed on the ocean of life. The great awakening happens in the sacred instant you reclaim your power. It is the moment you look at every single aspect of your life, the good, the bad, the beautiful, the ugly, and declare with absolute conviction, I am the cause. This is the great choice, victim or creator. You cannot be both. The consciousness of the victim is a prison of its own making, forever asking, why is this happening to me? The consciousness of the creator stands in the center of its universe and knows, this is happening from me. This does not mean you are to blame in a sense of guilt. Guilt is a useless emotion. It means you are the source, the operant power, the dreamer of the dream. Therefore, you have the power to change it. Every unwanted circumstance is not a punishment, but a divine messenger, a loving mirror reflecting back to you an assumption you hold in consciousness. Failures cease to exist. There is only feedback. Mistakes become your greatest teachers. By taking full ownership, you transform your life from a series of random accidents into a divine classroom for your own expansion. Understand this deeply. Your environment is your consciousness, pushed out. It is not a neutral stage upon which you act. It is a living extension of your own mind, a solidified echo of your past and present assumptions. The people you surround yourself with, the room you sit in, the information you consume through your phone, these are not separate from you. They are constantly feeding suggestions back into your subconscious mind, reinforcing the state you are in. To attempt to change your inner world while remaining immersed in an outer world that validates your old self is to wage a war you cannot win. You must see your environment not as a given, but as a creation. And if you are the one who created it, consciously or unconsciously, you are the one who has the power to uncreate it and build anew. Therefore, you must become the conscious and ruthless architect of your reality. This is not selfishness. It is sacred duty. You are building a temple for the new version of yourself to inhabit, and a temple must be pure. You must curate your world. You must choose, with deliberate intent, what is allowed into your holy space. This means the conversations you engage in, the books you read, the images you see, the very people you give your energy to. You must design an environment that makes your desired state feel normal, natural, and inevitable. This is not about using finite willpower to resist temptation. It is about removing the temptation altogether. You create a world that so powerfully supports your new assumption that it becomes easier to be your new self than to remain the old one. You make your highest vision the path of least resistance. And so, you arrive at the truth, the quiet power of consistency, the unshakable mindset of discipline, the creative magic of repetition. These are the tools. But the hand that wields them belongs to a consciousness that has fully claimed its sovereignty. When you accept total responsibility for your life and consciously design your environment to reflect your inner selection, you are no longer simply living life. You are creating it, moment by moment, with every breath. You are no longer a piece on the chessboard. You are the player who moves the pieces. Every circumstance becomes clay in your hands. You have finally awakened from the dream of being a mere mortal and remembered the truth of your being. The power was never out there. It was and is and always will be within you. You are the I am. The struggle is over. You are no longer the person who waits for a miracle. You are the miracle, unfolding through your own steady discipline. The old version of you is gone. It was an assumption that has now been replaced. So I ask you, what state of being will you consistently embody, starting right now? Declare your new self in the comments below. Subscribe and turn on all notifications, because this is not the end of your journey. It is the beginning. And if this message awakened the creator within you, the next video will show you how to bend reality to your will Click it now and master the art of assumption.